good to get back out there. First day of spring, guys are ready to go. Come back off a break, come back in pretty good shape. Energy level was good. Of course, execution's got to get better, but good first day, good start. Now we'll see. We've got to keep learning, and these young guys get them in the right positions, and the older guys keep taking the next steps to the next level on things, and we'll get there. But good, solid day, good energy. Questions?
Is it too early to figure out who's, day one, who really stands out?
Oh, yeah. Everybody stands out, good and bad. That's way too.
On who your leaders are, competitors?
Nah, we're seeing. A lot of guys are stepping up. We'll see how leadership comes in consistency. I mean, good days out there, I just say make sure they stay consistent with it. But, I mean, I'm not disappointed in what we got going on at all.
Jimbo, are there any specific areas that you're going to really be looking for in Kellen as far as
yeah, I mean, everything. I mean, decision-making, accuracy, quickness of, getting in and out of checks, getting out of things. But also the guys around him got to function. We always put it on the quarterback. This is a game, it doesn't matter what your quarterback does if the guys around you don't function. Then when they function, he's got to function. So, but from his standpoint, I think just, his knowledge of the offense, which got better and better at the end of the year, is consistently getting to be a better thrower, getting a decision maker, which, he did a solid job of today.
I saw as Miles Jones, and Anthony Hines were practicing with some of them.
No, they're practicing. They're in yellow, but they're limited in certain contact drills. Miles had a wrist, he had surgery, and Hines is still coming off that, and he's in limited drills. He's perfectly where he's going to be. It's just that certain drills we're keeping him out of so bodies don't. You can rep a receiver or a DB with a yellow jersey a lot easier than you can rep a front seven guy because guys can fall in the knee. So we're doing that on 7-on, but the team stuff we'll keep him out of. And that's just normal from last year when he blew his knee.
So in that regard, is Caleb Chapman making pretty good progress?
Yeah, no, he's him and Hines are all about the same, except that he's out front, out there outside, so you're not going to be falling. Guys aren't going to be falling at his feet when you get to team. So we can do a little more with him because of position work. But Hines, they're ready to go. I mean, they'll another 2 months and a half or so, they'll be full go. Just happen to be in spring right now.
Jimbo, quarterback's confidence helps them so much. What did it do to Kellen? Can you see the leap he took from maybe LSU to North Carolina State to now?
Well, I think at the end of the year he had success bringing the team back on a big victory, winning a bowl game, which you haven't done, learn how to prepare. You can see it definitely that he feels very comfortable in what we're doing and a lot more advanced in how he's talking, how he's things, the conversations we have, the reads. I mean, you can just see it. You can.
Is there anything specifically that you want him to really improve on his offense?
Yeah, that's what he asked me that just a minute ago.
Is there one thing in particular?
Yeah, I mean, just overall knowledge and command and the consistency in what you play with. And then, decision making, accuracy, all those things, which should grow as your knowledge grows. And the other thing is, you say that, the guys around him will run better routes. The guys around him protect better. The guys around him do their job better because they know what's going on better. So that really helps him too.
They announced to move your opener up 2 days. Do you like that Thursday game to get the?
Yeah, it was very good. I think it gives us, again, it's a Thursday night game where there's not many games that night, so you get a lot of attention, you get a lot of TV coverage. You're on the SEC network, and then the things we have about because if it wouldn't have probably been an earlier day game on Saturday, so it helps that way. I think it's people here, and then I think allows you 2 more days preparation when you go play Clemson.
What did you see out of Glenn Beal to have him repping with the ones at tight end?
Well, he's a guy. He's the lone returning tight end first. That's the only guy that's coming back right now at tight end because we didn't have a lot last year. But Glenn, last year, played very well. I mean, he when he got in the game, he knows what to do. He's physical. He can run. He can catch. And again, just getting him being with the ones, it takes a little bit of time to get that confidence going. But felt very good. Thought he had a solid day.
As many returnees as you guys have at receiver, how do you feel about that group, and what are some of the biggest steps they have?
Well, I think taking the next step. How they get open, the separation, the knowledge, the consistency in the routes, the reading of them, and then I think making contested catches. I mean, when you play great people and you go look at the combine, of the 14 of the top 25 players in the combine, they rank. I don't know what it doesn't mean. Those 5 guys they have at the end of that thing on. We played against 14 of the top 25 defensive players. So at all levels. So my point is, the guys you're going to be running routes against, the guys, the linebackers, the safeties, the corners, making contested catches, making tough catches, and making your routes even more precise and crisp so the guys don't read them and can get open more for your quarterback.
What would you like to see for your team as a whole as you go through the 3 workouts
in
the opening week?
Tremendous effort, tremendous toughness and competitiveness, and the psychological disposition to deal with success or failure on a certain play and go to the next play, and not get too high on the big ones and not get too low. I mean, they get excited, but all right, let me line up and play again. And then I think the execution of what we do, our knowledge of what we do, so we can execute in all 3 phases at a very high, consistent level.
Is a big part of spring finding out who's number 2 behind Kellen? Is that
Well, that's important, and you know, that Kelly takes a step to go to a higher level and then find out who number 2 is, who number 3 is, and you know, sometimes that'll be answered in, sometimes it won't be. You know, we'll have to wait and see, but that is one of our priorities.
What do you anticipate seeing out of that competition at center?
Oh, it'd be good. I mean, you know, McCollum, Prater, Clemens, all those guys have all been in there and done it, and so hopefully it'll be, that's the key position. I mean, that's like the quarterback of your front. You know what I'm saying? When you have all the calls, all the things that go through, and when that guy can make certain blocks, or he can. Good thing about both of them can pull and they're athletic and can get on the edge very much, just like Eric did, which is really good, which allows things to get freed up too. So I'm anxious to watch that competition.
Where's Matthews going to work?
Matthews is playing guard right now, and he'll work at some center too, but he'll be at guard and center.
What did you see out of Tank Jenkins? I saw him running the ones.
He is a big guy, big body, athletic, had a great offseason, got his weight in check. And so, you know, hopefully we'll give him a shot there, and we'll rotate guys in and out throughout the spring. I mean, there's no depth chart there. You got to put certain guys there right now. So, but Tank had to look like he had a solid day.
How excited are you about Buddy Johnson's development? Do you like him and Mike or Will?
Both. And when you play inside there, you got to learn to play both. You can't play one position because you got to learn to play both of those positions because you're in nickel, you're in dime, all the different things that go on. And he played a really good bowl game. You know, he played well there in that game, so hopefully he'll take it and move forward because that's going to be a big area of need there too.
A lot of notable transfers, waivers handed out this week. Do you have any thoughts or concerns on the amount of transfer waivers that seem to be?
It's interesting. It's amazing. I mean, listen, I want guys to graduate and do all that, but we're going to open it up and let them go or not. I mean, you know, if there's the right reason, I think it's great. If not, I think we got to be very careful of that.
How does that change the way that you keep scholars open throughout the year?
I won't. I'm going to recruit the guys I got. And we're recruiting, and you can't sit and hope and pray and take a guy. If you're in recruiting and you don't feel like a guy can play here, you don't take a guy just to take a guy if you don't get a guy. But at the same time, if you get the guys you want, you don't worry about it.
You mentioned the depth chart earlier. Is spring, do you define any roles at that point, or is it just kind of done?
No, you got to have a depth chart to go out there and get reps. Depth charts right now don't mean anything because we're trying to get guys. If you saw, we're on both fields practicing, equal guys getting the same amount of reps, and we're just trying to do it so we can let guys know where they got to be, and we'll work different combinations all through spring.
What are some of your other priorities to get done this spring other than picking number 2 quarterback?
You got about 3 hours.
Well,
I mean, you got to get your front line. You got to get your first 11 on both sides of the ball. I mean, you got to find the consistency in the kicking game. Who's going to be, and you know how we improve in the kicking game, how we improve on defense with the linebacker situation. You got corners and safeties. You got guys you got to mix around in there. Up front, who's going to play up front? The combinations on nickel, on dime, on third down, on red zone. I mean, on offense, who's in the slot, who's not in the slot when you go 3 wides, 4 wides, 2 wides. The tight ends and what they can do. I mean, what are you going to do with your back? Do you have backs that can catch it and move around? So what can they do? I mean, there's a ton. I mean, I could go on and on. There's a ton of things we got to do. But we try to find our first 11 on both sides, find a good, solid kicking game, and guys that want to compete at a high level can execute.
When you have 15 practices, and obviously you've got to ways until you guys get to the season, how do you create situations that you can find out who those guys are?
Oh, I do every day. It's already planned. I mean, it's going to be third down, it's going to be red zone, it's going to be combinations of this guy's going to play with this guy's going to play with that guy, and who can play beside each other. That works out. We naturally do that every day.
A year into this, a year into A&M, did you tweak any of your way you're doing spring?
No.
How does Kellen's approach change now that he's like the undoubted starter compared to being in a competition like last year?
I hope it doesn't change at all. I hope his confidence grows, and I hope his execution grows, but I hope his desire to compete and understand and play like there's a guy behind you, as I say, play with a chip on your shoulder and play like there's no jobs. When you get content, you can never be content. You got to keep going to the next level. It's good enough can never be good enough. And what can I improve on, and where can I take this team? And if I have to, it has to all go on my back. It's all guys go on my back, and that's the way you got to look at it.
With no Travion in the backfield, what kind of attitude have you seen from those next guys?
Been really good. Corbin had an excellent day today. You saw Prince and saw Cordarian out there getting reps. You saw Big Vernon look good in what he did. Cabote moved around. Yeah, those guys, there's a good mix of guys there, and I'm anxious to watch. I mean, but I thought Jay Sean really jumped to me today.
Did you have any guys take their names out of the portal and come back for the spring? Out of that running back portal?
I don't think any of them was in it, I don't believe. I can remember off the top of my head. I hope I'm not telling you wrong, not that I can think of.
How different is the feeling for you right now than it was this time a year ago?
Well, at least you know the guys, and they know us, and they know at least have a head start on what to do, where to line up, and what goes on. So, from that standpoint, you're comfortable. Now you just got to push to take those next steps.
You mentioned Cordarian a while ago. We don't know a whole lot about him. How's he looking?
Good, big, physical, strong, can catch it. I mean, learning what to do, but at the same time, has all the skills. He's a very talented young man.